Last words have power. They reveal character, they shape legacies, and sometimes they change the world. Today, we're exploring the 7 final utterances of Jesus from the cross, words that have echoed through centuries and continue to transform lives.
And these aren't just historical quotes, they're living words that still speak to us today, challenging how we view success, suffering, and what truly matters.
You know, it's fascinating how these 7 sayings create this complete portrait of Christ's mission. Can you walk us through them?
Absolutely. The first words Jesus spoke from the cross were, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Right away, we see this incredible emphasis on forgiveness, even in the midst of extreme suffering.
That's mind-blowing when you think about it. He's being executed and his first thought is forgiveness?
Exactly. Then to the thief beside him, he says, "Today you will be with me in paradise." Even in his darkest moment, he's offering hope and salvation to others.
So there's this thread of caring for others that runs through these sayings?
Yes, and we see it again in his third saying, when he looks at his mother and the disciple John, saying, "Women, behold your son, and behold your mother." He's ensuring his mother will be cared for after his death.
That's such a human moment in the midst of this cosmic event.
You know, it's interesting. These words have inspired countless musical compositions. Haydn, Gounod, and others have created powerful settings of these 7 last words.
Really? I had no idea they had such a cultural impact.
Then comes perhaps the most haunting words. My God, why have you forsaken me?" This cry of abandonment shows the depth of his suffering.
That's the 4th saying, right? What follows?
He then says, "I thirst," showing his physical suffering, followed by, "It is finished," declaring his mission complete.
And the final words?
"Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." It's a statement of complete trust and surrender.
You know what strikes me? The number 7 itself seems significant here.
Yes, in biblical thought, 7 signifies completion. These 7 sayings form a complete picture of Christ's saving mission.
So how do these words shape the life of a believer today?
They provide a pattern for living. When we choose to follow Christ, these words show us what that looks like. Forgiveness, care for others, honesty about suffering, and trust in God.
But that's pretty countercultural, isn't it? I mean, the world often pushes us toward very different values.
Absolutely. And this brings us to an important warning about the danger of worldly success.
How so?
Well, worldly success often leads to what Christian tradition calls the 7 deadly sins: pride, greed, wrath, envy, lust, gluttony, and sloth.
That's quite a contrast to Christ's words from the cross.
Exactly. While Christ demonstrates humility and sacrifice, worldly success can feed our pride and self-sufficiency.
Can you give us an example?
Take gossip, for instance. It's often linked to pride and the desire to feel superior to others. The Bible actually lists it among serious sins.
Really? Gossip is that serious?
According to Scripture, gossip can destroy relationships and divide communities. It's seen as a betrayal of confidence and trust.
That's quite different from how our culture often treats it.
And it's just one example of how worldly success can lead us astray. When we're focused on status and appearance, we're more likely to engage in these destructive behaviors.
So what's the alternative?
The alternative is letting Christ reign in our hearts, following his example from the cross, choosing forgiveness over revenge, service over status.
But that's not easy, is it?
No, it requires daily choices. Each time we choose humility over pride or kindness over gossip, we're letting Christ's example shape us.
It's like training for a different kind of success.
Exactly. And Scripture tells us that if we endure with Christ, we will also reign with him, but it's a very different kind of reigning.
How so?
It's about servant leadership, about using whatever influence we have to benefit others rather than ourselves.
That's quite different from how the world defines success.
And it requires constant vigilance. The pull toward worldly success and its accompanying sins is always there.
So how do we stay on track?
By returning again and again to Christ's example, particularly these 7 words from the cross. They show us what true greatness looks like.
Can you break that down for us?
When tempted by pride, remember his humility and forgiveness. When tempted by greed, remember his care for others, even in death.
And what about when we face suffering?
His honest cry of abandonment shows us we can be real with God about our pain, while still trusting him.
That's powerful.
And remember, these words weren't just spoken, they were lived. Each one cost him something.
which makes them even more meaningful for us today.
Exactly. They're not just historical artifacts, they're a living guide for how to face both success and suffering.
So what's the key takeaway for our listeners?
We have a choice: pursue worldly success with its deadly sins, or follow Christ's example of sacrificial love.
And these 7 words from the cross show us how to do that?
Yes, they're like a compass, always pointing us toward true north, toward what really matters.
That's a helpful way to think about it.
And when we align our lives with these words, we find something better than worldly success. We find purpose and peace.
Even in difficult times?
Especially in difficult times. These words were spoken in the darkest moment, yet they shine with hope and trust.
What a powerful reminder.
And it's available to everyone, not just the successful or powerful, but anyone willing to follow Christ's example.
That's quite different from how the world measures worth.
Completely different. It's about character over achievement, service over status.
As we wrap up, any final thoughts?
These 7 words from the cross aren't just history, they're an invitation to a different way of living.
A way that leads to true fulfillment rather than temporary success?
Exactly. When Christ reigns in our hearts, these words become our guide to authentic, meaningful life.
Thank you for this powerful discussion. And thanks to our listeners for joining us on Copilot Podcasts. Remember, sometimes the most powerful words are spoken in our darkest moments.